wanted to check on the hoop house this morning, see how everybody's doing. Got to said my lows were 50 degrees and it's 52 in here now. I opened up one end. I did not leave my peppers out here last night. I put them in the barn and it stayed about 60 in the barn. But the barn also has animals and a north wall, so it stays a lot warmer. Let's look. So lavender's pretty spotty, but what I noticed about it is what I thought was poor germination was just delayed germination. So we are getting late germination, which is all right. The little red stuff is cinnamon. It's supposed to keep away the fungus gnats since my trays were a little wet. And then lemongrass. This is lace flower. The same thing with my lace flower. I thought the lace flower had some pretty spotty germination, but it's actually starting more germination. So I've got several pots that more is germinating in. And then my giant parsley, same thing's going on there. I've got cinnamon on it, but I've also got a little feather dust. But there's more germination coming. So what I thought I was gonna have to repot, it's actually just a little delayed. And then the kohlrabi and artichokes. Look how gorgeous these things are. I think the artichokes are just the neatest. I'm not going to plant all of the kohlrabi. I'm going to pick probably 4 of these pots and plant them, and we'll be rehoming the rest. Rosemary. Look at you, rosemary. Rosemary is doing fantastic. I would say we got near 100% germination on our rosemary. And oregano. Same thing on oregano. There's a little bit that did not germinate, but for the most part, you could see when the seeds would get sticky to my finger. Look at all those in that one little pot. I was trying for 5 or 6 rosemary seeds in each pot. My dwarf snapdragons, they had really good germination, but they're still germinating. Parsley, I had the dark green Italian. That was the same thing. So parsley must I'll probably wait next year in a couple weeks on the parsley because they are starting to germinate now. I put cinnamon on there because, again, I was worried about the wetness and the gnats. And the black Prince Snapdragon, they're all the same thing, but on this side, for some reason, the germination was excellent. And on this side, I don't know if it was a heat mat. Maybe this side was hanging off the heat mat. Not really sure. But it is slowly starting to germinate. So there's some there. And my yarrow is doing great. Ginger. The soil is moist and warm, and I wait until I see some actual sprouts before I cover the tops with soil. Same thing with these. And then these little lumps are sweet potato vines. And these are my peppers. I can't remember how many varieties I've got in peppers, but I've got quite a few. I got my basics that I plant every year, like the shishitos and pepperoncinis and the tame Anaheims, Nata Pino, and we've got a few new ones. let's see if I can stitch these two videos together. Okay, so where was I? Shishitos, yeah, Notapinos, Anaheim, Tame, Italian Pepperoncini, and then the Varsky, maybe? Craig's Grande. These are purple, little purple ones. And these are lemon balms. I just, they were a little late to develop, so they ended up being, just kept back with the peppers. Sugar Rush Peach. That one's a little slower, I've noticed. Most of the Sugar Rush Peaches have just now started to pop up. So I brought them out today. I don't leave the peppers outside in the hoop house if the temperatures are 50 or below. Probably, I would say 52 or below. I won't let them be out here because, well, they don't have to be out here because I do have the barn that they can go in at night or stay in the barn in the windows and so 50, I would say 52. I'm comfortable at 52. But anything lower than that, they'll be going inside. The rest of this stuff, besides the ginger, and the ginger, it would come in at 50 or below. And the yarrow, it's good. It's frost tolerant. My snapdragons, parsley, they're okay at 40 to 50 degrees. They're fine. Of course, the kohlrabi and artichokes, they're fine at cooler temperatures. The lace flower, lemongrass. Lemongrass is actually frost tender. That's a heat loving plant, but since frost can't actually touch them, and we were at 50 last night, so they were fine. But if it was getting close to that 32 degree mark, the lace flower, the lemon balm, lavender, those frost tender things, they would go inside. The heat loving things would go inside. And then I would just bring them back out in the morning. The hoop houses are great. They heat up real good during the day, provide full sun but protection from rain. And I usually vent one or both sides. I can vent all four sides. We got a northeast wind today, and it's only going to be 66. So I'm only having one side vented because I do want it heated up in here a bit. And it obviously it's not sealed tight, so air can move through here on the sides of the plastic. So you can see there it is open down there, so when the wind is blowing it can blow through, so it can breathe. It just slows the air down a bit so it heats up. I need a little bit of heat to dry out some of these pots, like this lavender. I overwatered a bit. But I'm trying different things. Like I said, some of these have cinnamon on them. And some of them I used hydrogen peroxide, just in a spray bottle. I'm not having any problems right now, but I just want to be preventative. And fungus gnats, those are annoying. So I do try different things on that. Probably like a little bit of sand. I've got a little bit of sand on some of them just to help dry out the tops, and keeps the gnats from being able to lay their eggs. So yeah, I try different things to see what works best for me, and every year maybe something different, but I always have a little something on hand. Yeah, this is how the hoop house is doing. I can go check and see how the barn is doing. I'm enjoying the added space that the hoop house has given me. I don't have to take so many plants in and out every day. See, the barn has a south-facing exposure, which was why it was built this way. So I can put all my plants in the windows, and they do beautifully. but they do even better outside. Well, I'll be harvesting lettuce not much longer. My green stalks. We've got quite a few different things growing. Chives. I did notice that the chives really sprouted this past week. I turned them. I've got garlic chives are on the bottom, and regular onion chives are on the top. But they're really starting to pop this week. They've been planted for a while. I just wanted to see. And while they sprouted, they really didn't do a whole lot, but now they're really going to town. That's my soil sifting station. Gonna let that. And these are the peppers that haven't sprouted, and they all are about the same variety. So like the Sugar Rush Peach seems to be a slower variety to hatch until I can deal with chickens all day and ducks germinate. And then you can't hardly see it. This little piece right here. Look at that. Look how tiny that little one is. Oh, there's several of them. Like I said, it's harder to see. And that is I think it's bee balm. I think that's what that is. And my dome. That's another tray of lavender. Since I wasn't too pleased with the lavender's germination, that's another tray of lavender. And the powder, it's sand. It does, at least I'm attempting to use sand and cinnamon. Sand and cinnamon. I got a little carried away with it. Oh, we got pansies. And so the bee balm in there has already started to sprout, but the bee balm that's in the window and not on heat, so my pansies, they sprouted, but this side is bee balms, and there is only 1 or 2 bee balms actually sprouted, so they would definitely appreciate being on a heat mat. But since I planted them in these trays, I had to pull them to put them in the window. But next time I won't germinate bee balm and pansies in the same place. Look at that. My sage. Now the sage had almost 100% germination. It did really good. There's obviously a few spots that's not sprouted yet, but I won't give up on them because a lot of times we'll have some that pop a little later. Let's see. I'll knock the water off the top. I have 100 asparagus seeds in there. We're gonna grow a patch of asparagus this year. There's no germination yet. Oh, maybe one has germinated. And then I've got this is ginger. I circled all of the eyes so I would know where to look for development when it starts. This one's actually on a heat mat, so I'm happy with that. It will it keeps them warmer, and I wanted to see which one germinated quicker, here in the heat mat or out on the greenhouse. And this is Korean hyssop. It's not been planted very long ago, so I haven't expected germination this quickly. But again, it's on a heat mat. But I've got a little germination happening. What we got here? Lovage. Lovage is one of the best smelling, for me, herb there is. It's one of your few herbs that likes shade, so it'll do really good in partial shade. it smells heavenly. And it grows to like, if I remember correctly, it grows to like 5 or 6 feet tall. So it makes a great actual garden plant too. And it comes back every year. See, and our mountain mint. Now mountain mint is tiny. Look how tiny those flowers are. Now, it's hard to say for sure, but germination was pretty good. It is still germinating. I did go ahead and put it in the window because there was a lot of them that wasn't up, but they're so small you can't even hardly see them. Let's see, look at that little tiny one right there. What do we have here? Butterfly peas. So we got some butterfly peas. That one's doing really good. There's a couple of them that just sort of yellowed and shriveled up. So I don't care for that, but I thought maybe its little seed hat was stuck on him, but no, he's not looking so good. But the other ones look great. Of course, we've got our house plants. Oh, and a one tomato plant. So we had one plant, we didn't plant it. It was actually in some soil that I guess I dumped soil cups out. So I just had a bunch of soil cups and I dumped them out in a pot and to save it for whatever. And a tomato seed started growing at like middle of the winter, and I just let it. I didn't give it any heat, no heat mats. You can see from the top it does have a little bit of damage, so we'll trim that off probably just for looks. But yeah, it's very happy, and like I said, I haven't done anything with it. I just wanted to see how tolerant a tomato plant could be. Obviously no frost physically touched it. We got some little dirty ducklings in here. Yes, the stinky ducklings. We've got more snapdragons and peppermint, it looks like. Very little germination so far on the snapdragons, but it looks like the peppermints are doing really good. That whole side back there. I got extra lovage. This is probably what I will plant. This lovage here will be what I plant out in the garden. For myself, the other lovage is sold. Okay. The animals are all cock-a-doodle-dooing. You're cock-a-doodle-dooing, aren't you, girls? And boys. This is my favorite pin, probably, of all of them. They have so much personality. And these little turds are egg eaters. Somebody stepped on an egg about 3 weeks ago or so and didn't clean it up, and just let them clean it up, which was a huge mistake, because now every time they lay an egg, if we don't run in here and get it immediately, they eat it, both of them. So we're having a hard time getting eggs from this pen, and they lay daily, but yeah, they've been turned into little egg eaters. What's going on in here? Jersey Giants and call ducks. Why aren't you guys outside? Why aren't you guys outside? Oh, she must be laying her an egg back there in the corner. Yeah, you laying an egg back there? You guys all on egg guard duty? My phone is not cooperating today. Good Lord. Got an egg. Got an egg. Got a lady laying an egg. Look at you guys. Good morning. We have to be careful when we go in there, because we don't do the stingray shuffle. We step on all the eggs, because ducks don't always lay in nests. Look at you girls. Yeah, look at you girls. You on the roost? You sleeping, Ash? Got some frizzle babies. She's trying to escape. Her grow outs. Cruzy kept these back last year for growing out, and they actually turned out to be really pretty. Look at you. My camera's got the worst scratch on the case lens. Drives me crazy. Alright. Well, I just wanted to check on everything and bring you guys along for the ride. How fancy is our planting station, huh? We planted almost a whole bag of shallots the last couple of days. I'm going to tuck those into my tomato and pepper beds. We won't get real big shallots when we do that because the tomato plants and stuff will shelter them, shade them toward the end of the season for the onion, not the tomato. But it helps detour aphids and a few other soil bugs. So we'll go ahead and tuck what's left into our tomato and pepper beds, and we'll get some, maybe just enough to use as seeds again next year. But tonight's plan is chamomile and basil. Yay! We are a little delayed. Oh no, I've already done my chamomile. It's basil and cilantro. I'm a little bit delayed on my planting schedule. As you can tell, they're not marked off. And that was my 226. What happened was I had 2 heat mats that were new. They went down, and there's no point in starting seeds outside in an unheated building if they don't have heat mats, because the soil will just grow fungus and mold and gnats, and it will not grow seed, and then your seeds will just rot because they're not going to come up if they don't have heat. So while I had to wait for my new seed mats to get in, I had, of course, when the heat mats died, I had 12 seed trays on those heat mats, so it delayed them. So I just pushed everything back by about 2 weeks. But now that there's warm temperatures outside, I'm able to use the hoop house over there to get some of my stuff started that I can put them outside in the greenhouse or the hoop house during the day, and it gets so warm in there that it helps germinate the seeds. While I've got seeds sprouting inside, I got seeds sprouting outside. I did not fix the hoop house so that it could be a permanent structure. That's usually where we grow our climbing things, like our cardinal flowers, and we'll put some other climbing veggies on it. But I wanted to extend my growing space, and that was the simplest I could figure, was to just cover it in the greenhouse plastic. And each end has a board that the plastic is stapled to, and then I just roll that board and plastic up and clip it to the top of the frame. I've not had any issues. The plastic is screwed on both sides to, I guess those are like little 1-bys, so that the plastic won't, catch wind and then just fly away like a kite. So that's about the most permanent piece, is just those boards on the side. But other than that, it's pretty temporary. I'm not planning on leaving it up year round, but we'll see. Cruz, she really likes a cardinal climber on there, but I'm enjoying the extended growing space. We got some ducks. This is what I do every morning. I send Cruzy off to school, and then I come out here and pretend to be a gardener for a living, and then I go to work and make a living to pay for my gardening. Can't have it both ways. I am super pleased with how well the lettuce is doing outside. It does have the protection of the awning, but other than that. Okay, guys. Happy hatching. See you soon.